A name whispered with a mix of respect, terror, and a chilling kind of awe. Mad Maxx. This wasn't just a street name. It was a thunderclap, echoing across the east side of Chicago. He was more than G. Herbo's closest friend. He was rumored to the NLMB's most feared enforcer, a shadow figure whose reputation was as wild as the streets he roamed. We are pulling back the curtain on the untold story of Mad Maxx, a life lived by brutal street rules, and the shocking way it all came to an end. What dangerous forces shaped his destiny in a city where loyalty was life and betrayal meant death? This brutal battlefield held a secret war, and Mad Maxx would soon step right into it. Max, called C-Money or Killa Chris, grew up on Chicago's east side. That place meant childhood ended early. His dad was taken tragically when Max was just 12 years old. This loss threw him into a harsh reality. He quickly learned to adapt, embracing the unforgiving street life. He found his place inside NLMB, a truly powerful crew. This group was a renegade force, born from two unlikely allies. Renegade Black P-Stones merging with the Muskegon Boys, a renegade group of GDs. This unusual joining created a strong, defiant unit. Max had deep ties to the crew. He had well-respected uncles, brothers, and cousins already in NLMB, like Mally and G. Munkeski. It's unconfirmed if they were blood brothers, but they undeniably grew up together, thick as thieves. Max came up with two young men who would become global rap stars, G. Herbo and Lil Bibby. This crew, NLMB, grew famous for its fierce reputation. They beefed with almost everyone on the east side. Surprisingly, they showed more order than some other Chicago gangs, with older OGs guiding the younger generation. This unexpected guidance helped them survive. They had many enemies. The main crews NLMB clashed with, the ones that would define Mad Maxx's violent path, were Lakeside, KTS, and Black Mobb. This brutal battlefield held a secret war, and Mad Maxx would soon step right into it. The spark that lit the brutal Black Mobb beef was a shocking fight over land. The two groups were once on uneasy terms. In 2009, an NLMB member named Vito was selling in Black Mobb land without proper permission or tax. A Black Mobb member took action, violating Vito for this disrespect. What happened next was a major break of all street rules. Vito reportedly shot the rival in front of his own family. That was a chilling act that crossed a line. This reckless action led to a deadly fight. Vito himself was later shot, losing his life. His death set off a terrifying wave of revenge shootings. This forever created a bitter, unending beef between the two crews. In the dark time after this first clash, whispers about Mad Maxx began to spread. It's been said that he was supposedly involved in the shocking end of Dio, a member linked to both Black Mobb and Lakeside. This would be, if the rumors hold true, the first in a long, chilling series of such acts linked to Max. He had an early brush with the law, locked up in 2010 for a supposed shooting while still a minor. The streets quickly reclaimed him. The streets were now a bloody chessboard, and Mad Maxx was about to make his ruthless, calculated moves, each one a direct, vengeful response to the crushing personal losses that would fuel his rage. Mad Maxx's path was paved with an agonizing string of crushing losses. Each one hardened his resolve and fueled his terrifying rampages. In November 2011, White Folks, a respected leader of No Limit, passed away from wounds suffered in a 2006 shooting by Lakeside members. White Folks was a major figure many, including Max, looked up to. His death was a crushing blow. A few months later, in February 2012, a terrifying surprise attack left two beloved NLMB members dead. Rock and Alamo stood on a corner when a car opened fire, leaving 5 hit and 2 gone. Rock was a respected figure. Alamo was an older, respected OG. It's been rumored that KTS members did this attack. Rock's death hit Max deepest. He swore revenge against KTS. Next, in October 2012, another hammer blow. 33-year-old Carlos Alexander, known as No Limit Big Loss, was murdered. Big Loss was not just another OG. He was Max's own blood uncle. His death supposedly changed Max, turning him into an even more savage, vengeful fighter. The supposed revenge acts began, swift and brutal. In November 2012, Anthony Bagsby, known as Bud from Lakeside, was shot. Whispers claimed NLMB, including Max, were involved. Bud was supposedly linked to big losses passing. Next, in April 2013, Lakeside's D'Angelo Simmons, called Lolo, was shot down. Persistent rumors point to Mad Maxx as the shooter. Some shocking claims even suggest Herbo was supposedly there, chasing another rival. This remains unconfirmed, adding to the chilling mystery. NLMB, in a cruel taunt, would openly mock their fallen enemies like Bud and Lolo in songs and on social media, pouring gasoline on the already raging war. The summer of 2013 exploded with fresh chaos. Mad Maxx was reportedly at the terrifying eye of the storm. His supposed actions only pulled everyone deeper into the endless bloody fight. The summer of 2013 brought a new wave of death and despair. No Limit lost 2 more members, Simo and Tracy. They were quick to respond. In June 2013, 24-year-old Jordan Jefferson, a member of Black Mobb, was shot 3 times in the head. He was pronounced gone right there at the scene. Supposedly, Mad Maxx and a group of other dudes from NLMB spotted Jordan. They ran up on him and delivered the fatal shots. It was his supposed 3rd brutal act in less than a year. Just 2 months. Later, in August 2013, NLMB suffered another crushing blow with the loss of Jacoby Heron, called Kobe. He was so deeply loved that Herbo named an entire mixtape after him. Kobe was chilling with Herb and others. He then decided to walk home. Gunshots rang out minutes later. He was found dead on the street. No one was ever arrested. It's rumored KTS Vaughn and another dude named Pasto were responsible. Kobe's death sent NLMB into a relentless hunt for his supposed killers. Before they could get Vaughn, Max supposedly took out another Black Mobb member, Eric Chisholm, in August 2013. Chisholm was shot from a passing SUV. It's unclear if he was directly involved in gang activity at that moment. Rumors strongly hint at Max's supposed involvement, adding another notch to his fearsome name. Finally, in November 2013, NLMB supposedly got what they were after. Tishon Posto Anderson was shot in the head. Police identified him as a known gang member. His family said he was just a typical teenager. No one was ever arrested. It's rumored Crazy James and Mad Maxx from NLMB were responsible, doing it in direct revenge for Kobe's death. Posto was a well-loved KTS member. Afterward, members of No Limit would brutally disrespect Posto in raps and on social media, adding even more fuel to the beef. The shadows of his supposed actions grew longer. The law began to stretch for Mad Maxx, pausing his relentless campaign. The dark pull of the streets always pulled him back. For a time, Max's terrifying actions slowed down. All through 2014, he faced growing legal problems. He got arrested many times. He was caught for reckless behavior in July. Then in October, he was nabbed for not wearing a seatbelt and driving without a license. He'd barely be free before getting arrested again for disorderly conduct a week later. So, Max was caught up for much of that year, less active in the brutal street war. The lull would not last. In June 2015, KTS Vaughn, one of NLMB's most hated rivals, was shot and killed. The 21-year-old was found shot many times, even in the head. Theories about who ended Vaughn's life swirled wildly. Vaughn was one of KTS's most active members, with enemies in countless rival groups. No one truly knows who caught Vaughn lacking that night. One prominent theory is that it was members of NLMB, including Mad Maxx. Right after Vaughn was gone, Max started calling himself Da Smoker on Instagram. This was a chilling move many saw as a direct claim for the hit. This might have simply been another way to get at his enemies, adding to the unsettling mystery around his actions. His legal troubles went on into 2016, with more accusations like weapon possession, keeping him partly sidelined. By 2017, he was back in full force, seemingly more dangerous than ever, ready to jump back into the heart of the conflict. The stage was now set for perhaps his most shocking supposed act yet. This event sent terrifying ripples through the Chicago streets and put a final, huge, unavoidable target squarely on his back. The streets witnessed perhaps Mad Max's most shocking supposed act in July 2017 with the brutal, unforgettable end of Shoot-a-Shells. He was Black Mobb's top shooter and one of their most famous rappers. Just 3 months before his end, Shoot-a-Shells dropped a savage diss track called Death of 150. He openly mocked several dead members from No Limit, including loved figures like Rock, Kobe, and Fazio, who Herbo has famously rapped about many times. This made Shoot-a-Shells an absolute main target for NLMB. Shoot-a-Shells was reportedly walking to his car when 3 men ran up on him and shot him many times. The details are chilling. Police say he was shot about 15 to 18 times until he was unrecognizable. An astonishing 43 shell casings were found at the scene. A true act of pure, wild rage. Just 2 months before his death, the FBI had started an investigation into the growing violence between Black Mobb and No Limit. After looking into Shoot-a-Shells' murder, they found it was likely linked to the bitter beef and that infamous diss track. No one was ever arrested. Whispers about Mad Max's supposed involvement grew into strong rumors. Years after his death, a police report disturbingly named Max as one of the main suspects in this horrific act. He had become a chilling ghost, a legend made of fear. Even the most feared figures face their own haunting shadows. For Mad Maxx, that final, tragic day was nearing, closer than anyone knew. The tragic echo of Mad Max's life sounded most powerfully in his final, shocking moments. On August 3, 2018, Max was moving into a building on South Kingston Avenue. He supposedly spotted a rival from Lakeside. He reportedly ran toward the building, desperate to escape. He couldn't get away. He was chased down and shot twice, once in the stomach, once in the arm. Max was found slumped in the courtyard. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. At first, it seemed like he might beat death. Doctors shockingly kept him alive for a whole month after he was shot. He later passed away from his horrific injuries on September 3, 2018. A few days after the shooting, police arrested a Lakeside member named Terrell Webb, known as Hell-Rel. A witness came forward and identified him as the shooter. Police found a weapon on him when he was arrested. A shocking and controversial rumor began to spread that Max supposedly snitched on his deathbed.
What did you think was odd about seeing that woman and the man at the gate?
I didn't think she was odd, but she wanted. But when I seen that dude, they got on the hoodie and shit.
Okay, so you didn't think it was odd to see the woman, but then you looked and saw, oh, Rel was there and he had a hoodie on. Mm-hmm. Was Rel, sorry, is that yes?
Yeah.
Was Rel's hoodie up or was it down?
Up.
And when you saw Rel with the hoodie up, what did you do?
I immediately turned around and tried to run back in the building.
So you turned, you ran, and you tried to run into the building?
Yes,
and were you able to run into the building?
No.
What happened as you tried to run into the building?
I shot 4 times and made me collapse.
And were you able to see what type of, when you say he shot, who shot? Terrell.
Black Nike, black shirt, black pants.
He was clinging to life in the hospital, slowly fading. Police reportedly came to his room and questioned him about the shooting. The whispers claimed they convinced Max to give a videotape statement, naming Hell-Rel as his attacker. This tape was never used in court. Hell-Rel was later released. There was no evidence. The haunting rumor that Max snitched forever stained his name in the streets. The ultimate street code violation? Many of his enemies, and some who once called him an ally, claimed all his supposed work, and his fearsome name meant nothing. He supposedly broke the cardinal street rule. Though whispers and controversy spread, members of No Limit still honor him. They give him respect as one of their most active and feared members. The question of his final act hangs heavy in the high air. Was this the absolute truth, or just another chilling whisper forever clouding the legend of Mad Maxx? Mad Max's story is a brutal, haunting trip through the unforgiving Chicago streets. He was a relentless force, shaped by an unending cycle of violence, loyalty, and chilling revenge. His life, marked by deep loss and desperate payback, ended, as it began, in the middle of the very fight that made him. The streets, as they always do, eventually claimed him. In his tragic end, a chilling mystery remains. Did he truly betray the street code in his final agonizing moments? Or was the snitch rumor a story planted by his enemies, forever twisting his legacy? The full, clear truth remains out of reach, lost in the concrete jungle. What does Mad Max's chilling, tangled story truly show about the unwritten, brutal rules of living in such a world? His life serves as a sharp reminder of the heavy, often untold cost of a life lived always on, the very edge